Hi, this is Melissa with Medi Natura, returning your call.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Myrna is my rep there.
Yes.
Yeah, I did leave a message for her. I had an issue come across my desk because I guess, I mean, I'm making an assumption here until you confirm that you guys employ the Voorhees law firm.
Yes, correct. So we did submit a lot of brand registry cases that where people are selling our products. They're not using the same listing that we're on. And so we have employed Voorhees to do multiple things, and that is one of them.
Do you know what the repercussions? That doesn't just. I understand your goal is to just remove the listing off of Amazon, but do you know the collateral damage that causes by doing that? The collateral
damage. As of now, we can sell. You just have to sell on the brand registered ASIN.
We understand.
You can't create your own ASIN.
We didn't create our own ASINs. The ASIN was already created, so that's where we've been listing on for years. And then when you guys change the photos and everything, great. We don't mind not listing on there, but when you go file those complaints because you don't want them there, Amazon goes to those individual sellers that never created that listing. They just piggybacked on it. That they will about to lose their entire Amazon business if they don't remove that violation. So the violations you filed causes other accounts to get some of them completely turned off, but some of them with warnings that if they don't rectify this or have those policy violations removed, then the whole account, which means I lose $200,000 a month worth of business because of those few complaints, simply because you don't want me to sell there, that simply could have been resolved with a phone call.
Well, there were many other listings, not just all of the ones that you're selling on, and this is a part of the process. We are taking different steps with our Amazon business. This is the first step, is to clean up all of the rogue ASINs that are out there.
But
everyone should be on the same listing.
But do you believe someone should be forced to lose their business because you didn't tell them first you don't want them listing on there? You just said, I'm going to damage your company because I don't want these listings on here, because that's what those claims do. It's not just fixing your issue. You're literally hurting people by telling them you don't want them to sell on this listing. They didn't tell them. You just went and filed a complaint. Like
no way for us to get a hold of all of the people.
But you have no. I don't care about other people. I care about me. You have a way to get a hold of me. I have numerous emails from you where you said, let's say I was selling too low, and I immediately fixed it, didn't I? So why couldn't you contact me and say, hey, Reza, we need you to remove these off these listings because we're going in a different direction and we don't want items on this? I would have easily removed it in a second, just like I fixed every other issue that you guys have reported to me in the past. So I'm kindly requesting that you guys retract those complaints against my accounts. I don't care about the listing because I've gotten already some of them reversed on my own. Amazon's not reinstating the listing. They're just removing the complaint off my account so I don't get suspended and lose $200,000 worth of business. And you know my $200,000 worth of business is not from your company.
Yes, I can see how much you're doing on your listings. And quite honestly, the listings that are not our listings do hurt us.
I'm not even selling on them. That's why if you simply said, hey, Reza, can you remove these ASINs, I would have removed it. And then we wouldn't be having this phone call. The listings would be removed. You would be happy with me. And then I wouldn't be now fighting Amazon because I have to respond to these complaints within 72 hours or Amazon's going to turn off my account just based off those Medi Natura complaints.
Well, quite honestly, you had the most listings that were not, it's like you're creating your own listings. You're not.
I don't create anything. I've never created a listing on Amazon ever.
You're the most. We've hired Voorhees to do this. This is not something we're doing internally. So we're letting the attorneys deal with this. We have the rights with brand registry, Amazon.
I'm asking, what about Simple Compassion? You literally just said you knew it was me having most, so why didn't you reach out to me? and say, hey, Reza, I need you to remove these listings or from these ASINs and list only on these ASINs, or we're going to have to file complaints. Why couldn't you even do that? Why did you go ahead to just stabbing me in the back? That's what's occurring right now.
It was not intentional. And like I said,
but now I'm bringing it to your attention.
There's like 50 listings, and so we hired an attorney firm to take care of this for us.
Yes, and you have no idea.
The data and said, and that's what we decided, and then we submitted the brand registry cases. So
yes, because Voorhees.
We are in the right to do that. I do apologize. We didn't let you know in advance, but this is something that the attorneys are doing. We can't reach out to everyone in advance. You're not the only direct.
I'm asking you. I'm not asking about everyone. I'm asking about me. I'm about to lose my business because of these complaints. That you need to get me a list. I don't know which ASINs are ones you don't want listed on. I don't know which ones. You need to let me know. A little common courtesy. Why are you sitting there and be like, no, you should have already known that these specific listings we didn't know through osmosis. Since you didn't get it through osmosis, we're going to tell this lawyer to file complaints and honestly picking the worst law firm in the face of the planet to do this, because all they do is try to convince you to bill hours. I'm asking for a little compassion.
This is all new to us, but this is something we have hired Voorhees for. I was completely unaware that there were all these listings out there.
You can fix it. You can fix it with me. I don't care about anyone else. You can fix it with me, and get me a list. They file a retraction against just my account, River of Human Health, and then you get me.
Why would we do that, though? This is something that we need to do.
Because you reached an agreement with the seller outside to remove the listings manually, to not have to cause damage and have him lose his livelihood and the income to the foreign families that work with me. Do you understand? I mean, it's like the gravity of the situation. You only care about those listings on. You could care less if you put people on the street without even giving them a chance to fix before you put them on the street. I mean, it's a lot of collateral damage. I'm not making this up.
So, but if you were to remove those listings that Amazon is saying you can't be on because you're not on the correct listing of the brand, then wouldn't that?
If you're removing the listing, does not take care of the violation, because they filed it as trademark on product. That's how they filed it. They're claiming the reason, the excuse that Voorhees used. They're saying that the item shows a picture of a BHI product. This is legal stuff that they put you legally responsible. They lied. They said BHI is not a MediNatura product. You still print it on your boxes and put it on your invoices. That's what they put in all of these complaints, and they're saying the BHI product, and it's under the brand MediNatura, and that causes confusion for the customer. When you know very well, you guys own all of it, and BHI is MediNatura, and MediNatura is BHI. You still print it on the box. So that's why I'm trying to...
BHI is a separate brand. MediNatura is a manufacturer and also a separate brand. So what I've seen with Voorhees doing this is that people are setting up separate listings under different brand and manufacturer names to get away from not listing on the ASINs that the brand is listed on. So that's why we're trying to do cleanup. All the listings that we went after.
But cleaning up, that's not the proper way to clean up. I could have taught you the proper way to clean up. That wouldn't involve the lawyers at all. NFH did it properly. NFH and all of them did it properly. They removed their listings without ruining sellers' lives. You know what they did is they took ownership of those listings, and then they just deleted them. They just started disappearing. The listings disappeared one by one. They just started being gone.
Well,
and no one got damaged. Yes,
this is part of the process that they told us that,
yes, because yes, Voorhees told you it's
Amazon.
part of the process because you're going to pay them thousands of dollars to do it. If you did it the proper way to just take ownership of it, then you would have had no one hurt. You would have been saving the legal fees. And you would have just had someone internally in your company spending an hour or two a day just taking ownership of ASINs and deleting them. You saved yourself thousands of dollars, but Voorhees doesn't want to do that because
that's not something that we have done or we've known about before. So we're moving in a different direction with our Amazon and Walmart business. And Vorys is helping us to do that. So I can reach out to them and find out what the next steps are, as far as, what you need to do to ensure that your account remains open.
Voorhees is not going to help you. I'm already in a lawsuit with them. They've already admitted to me they don't even have evidence against me, but they're suing me. They've already fixed the problem that they're suing me for, but they're still continuing to sue me. That's the kind of law firm you're dealing with. You're not dealing with someone who is working for you. They're working for themselves. All they want is money in their pocket.
I'm on the phone.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm asking to resolve this. I'm asking to resolve this, that you remove the 6 or 7 complaints that they have against my account, that I have 3 days, or Amazon's going to suspend. There's no way else to fix this except an authorization letter from the brand. That's the only way to fix this, at Amazon, before they're going to turn off my account. And again, I am authorized to sell your product. That is the only way to fix, to save my account to where, and then you give me a full list of all 100 ASINs that you guys are not doing, and I'll go delete them all. And I'll send you the deletion confirmation. But I need one for the other. Reaching out to me after stabbing me is not, and you didn't even reach out to me. You were just going to continue stabbing me. Without
you were not the only customer who
But you knew about me. But you knew about me. You knew about me. You just said
there's a handful of customers that are on there. It's
and again, you contacted me. Again, this wouldn't hold up anywhere because I have an email from you from 8 months ago or whatever. You contacted me for simply 2 ASINs that I was underpriced on. So you know about me. You could have reached out to me. You could have resolved this.
We're going to return you. This is not something, I did not have this data until the attorneys brought it to us. This is not something that
Yes, and then you could have said, I know River of Immunos, let me reach out to him. He's fixed everything in the past. Let me reach out to him before we cause him problems.
I mean, like I said, there was many customers on there. Some we know, some we don't know.
But you know me. But you know me. I'm not talking about anyone else. This call is concerned about me. You said you've known about me. I was about me. I didn't even say my name before you said you had 100 listings. Only my Oasis of Health, and I never even mentioned River of Human Health on this phone call. So you knew exactly who you're talking to. So you could have reached out to me. All I'm asking you.
Because they're worried. Because they provided the information.
And then you could have said.
With them and find out what the next steps are, but we are not able to. We're not going to allow people to sell on listings that are not.
I don't want to sell on the listing. I'm just trying not to lose my company and my business right now. And
so did Amazon tell you that your actions? The next steps are.
I have to give them an authorization letter that I'm able to sell the Madi Nitra, the BHI labeled product, and that's it. I'm an authorized seller. The listings that they removed the violations from, the half that I was able to get removed from recent invoicing from you guys, they didn't reinstate the listings. They just took the violation off my account.
Okay, I don't believe part of the process with the attorneys is going to allow us to say you're authorized to sell, because quite honestly, the next step of this, we are creating an authorized reseller policy, and we are not allowing anyone else to sell on Amazon or Walmart except for us.
I mean, great. Yes. And you're going to go to. Yes, and I know you're going to move forward to selling through Pattern, and Pattern's going to sell all your stuff and store it in multiple warehouses to where they're going to be subjected to hundreds of degrees of temperatures, because you're going to throw Voorhees has convinced you to throw quality controls right out the window. Because you do know Amazon's warehouses get up to 155 degrees. Can your product withstand 150 degrees?
I mean, our products already are in Amazon warehouse.
Yes, and do you know they're subjected to 150 degrees to where it's not going to cause people to get sick. It's just not going to work. I'm not
aware of that, but
well, it's Amazon. It's public knowledge. You can Google it on Amazon's website. Voorhees probably didn't tell you that their temperatures can get between 75 and 155 degrees that your product will be subjected to. Amazon tells you that publicly in their multiple.
So Amazon has people working in warehouses that are 150 degrees.
No, you do understand. No, you do understand that product gets moved from warehouse to warehouse, correct? They do FC transfers. So when warehouses get packed, that non-air conditioned trailer is sitting outside of the warehouse for days in the middle of the summer, and the stuff is getting cooked inside it until they're able to pull it into the warehouse and unload it. So that's where the 150-degree temperature comes, is when your product is getting transferred from warehouse to warehouse and sits outside under the elements while it's waiting to be received. And it could be sit there for weeks.
As far as what temperature what temperature they need to be stored at. That's not my.
But Amazon tells everyone, if your product cannot be subjected to 150 degrees, don't send it to us. And then if you continue to send it to us, that's on you, not on them. They're not responsible for that because they told you. Or if they made it available to you under their multiple policy, and that's through now until October is their multiple policy, that if they've actually sent notice out to your Amazon account as well, stating that if your product cannot subject to these temperatures, remove it from the warehouse now. You can research this, and then I'm asking you, I'm asking you to follow up with what I'm asking you to follow up to be genuine. You understand I'm being genuine, and then you can find out that these lawyers are lying to you, that they lied by omission, by not giving you certain information about the quality of the storage of your products when it goes to these warehouses.
I mean, that's not what we're talking with Voorhees about. They're taking care of brand registry issues. They're drafting our reseller policy and helping us to roll it out.
Yes, and you're gonna use an.
And we're gonna allow them to do their work because it hurts us to have all these other listings with bad reviews, bad content, bad images.
But it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt you to help me not lose my account. It doesn't hurt you to let me remove the listings voluntarily. Does that hurt you to allow me to move the listings voluntarily with us communicating here right now? How does that hurt you?
No, and you should do that. I believe those are the required steps for you to take it to remove those listings.
Yeah, they didn't do that. Voorhees didn't do that. They didn't send an email out to these sellers saying you need to remove this before we file a complaint. They didn't do a cease and desist. They didn't do anything like that.
Correct. Amazon allows us to file brand registry cases when people are selling our products under different brands and different manufacturer names and different ASINs.
I understand, but when you're human, and you know the other human that's doing this, and you're like, hey, I know that guy, I'm just going to give him a little nudge, and if he doesn't listen, we'll do this. I didn't even get that amount of courtesy. I don't care about anyone else. I care about you. Knew it was me.
You're the biggest violator in all of this. Why would I reach out to you and give you that benefit?
Because every time you've reached out to me, I've complied. I have 16,000 listings. I don't know when one goes that's not allowed to and when's allowed to. I search by name. I don't analyze the entire every letter and thing. If the name and the picture and the description match, that's how I list. I have 16,000 listings. And then when brands contact me and they're saying, hey, this is not our listing, I go and delete it. Fine, done, delete it. Why do you have to? You're talking to me like I've never cooperated.
This is a process that I'm completely unaware of, and this is just something that while onboarding with Voorhees, they're like, here's all the listings that are not on.
You are their boss. You are their boss. You are their boss. They're not your boss. You are their boss, and I've reached out to you.
Them to do this.
I will
follow up with them about next steps. But as far as I understand, that you do have to remove your listings and jump on and get onto the listing that we're on. And then, like I said, over the next 30 days, we will be sending letters out to everyone.
Removing the listings does not remove the violation. I'm trying to reach out to you, and it seems like no matter how helpful you've been, Reza, no matter how much you've cooperated from the beginning, every time we sent you a message, Reza, you've responded and fixed it immediately. But we decided that we didn't feel like.
I reached out to you once, and you did not fix it. From what
I did fix it. I have the email. It was two prices. And I fixed it immediately.
Okay. Well, then that is greatly appreciated. MAP is different than brand registry. Like I said, this is part of the process to clean up and to get our authorized reseller policy, so that we stop having bad listings and violators and map violators that are continuing to.
Again, I understand your reasoning. I understand your reasoning, but when things can be resolved in a cooperative.
I would need to reach out to Lori's and find out what we can do at this point.
I'm telling you what you can do. You can get me a list. Get me a list. This is what you can do. You can get me a list of all the ASINs that you are planning or want deleted or removed off of Amazon. That's the first thing you can do. And then the second thing you can do is work up a simple agreement. They can write it in 5 seconds. They'll charge you $7,000 to do it, but they can write it in 5 seconds. Hey, Reza, if you remove all these listings right now and give us confirmation, we will remove those violations off your account so you don't lose your livelihood.
Okay.
I mean, it's simple.
Reach out to them, find out if that's something
For some reason, I think
I
you don't believe the gravity of what you guys have done. I don't believe you understand the gravity. I don't believe you believe me, but I'm telling you, when I give you a hint about FBA and WFS and the heat temperatures and all that to where they can be subjected to, call me on my bluff. I'm being honest with you. I'm an FDA warehouse. I'm not just some guy who's selling stuff. I'm an FDA registered food facility. I've done the work, the upgrades, and everything to be responsible with everything I sell. I don't use FBA just because there's not a single health professional. When you send your product to FBA, when can you inspect your product? Never. You can never look at it. You can never see if they're sending anything mangled. And Amazon customer service just gave the person a refund and moved on. And you're finding out this junk is being sent. And you know what? All negatives get removed if you're FBA. So if someone has a legitimate complaint that you're concerned about that could be with the storage, you're not going to see it because it gets removed because it's sitting at FBA. There's so many problems that can occur that you're never going to be notified about using FBA and WFS versus using someone who's an FBA warehouse.
We're not going to change that process.
I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you to change. I'm asking you.
Recovery dollars every month for damaged and missing products, so that's not a concern of ours. We're able to reconcile all of that.
I'm asking you to just digest. Let me reach out
to Lori's and see what I am able to do or not.
I've never asked you to.
Again, this is all new to us.
I know, I understand, and I've never asked you to change anything. I've never asked you to change anything. I said just to digest what I've said and confirm what I've said about how your product is stored and what it could be subjected to and not subjected to, and then you'll know that I'm being genuine with you. That's all I'm asking you to do, that I'm trying to rectify this problem and delete, and I'll delete all your listings. I don't care. I'll stop selling MediNatura. That's how much my business involves and me being able to give paychecks to the people in my business that I work for. I'll delete MediNatura right now, and I'll agree to your future agreement today. If I get these violations, I'll delete every listing of MediNatura that I can find, and then I can't find, you let me know which ones are there, and I'll delete them after. Even the authorized ones.
I'm happy to email it to you. There's 13 listings that you have that are incorrect brand or manufacturer name that are not part of our listings. I'm happy to send this over to you, and then I'll reach out to Lori's, but I have a feeling they're not going to allow us to say you're an authorized seller because within the next month you won't be.
But technically, as of today, I am, and I still am.
Correct.
And I have invoices with you guys that you still cause your own confusion on your own invoices when you're having a MediNatura, but you still say BHI on your invoices. So this is where.
It's a brand name, yeah.
Yes, but you have to understand, you are their boss. It's not. You don't have to say they're authorized. They can just go simply file a retraction, be like, we've reached an agreement with this guy, retract these violations. People do it all the time. Because you're getting a bigger response than just those complaints. You're getting me removed. How about that? RDN.
Well, on Amazon, there is usually a process you can follow to avoid that.
There is no process. There is no process to avoid it. The only process to avoid it is communication with the brand and the brand communicating with you. That's the only way to avoid these issues. How can I avoid someone going behind my back and filing a claim with Amazon?
Because it's our right to, because you went behind our back and created 13 listings.
I didn't go behind your. I didn't go behind your back.
Nobody else is selling on these listings, sir. Like, you are the only one on these listings.
I didn't go. Going behind someone's back is not putting a public sale. That's not going behind someone's back. Going behind someone's back is filing a complaint without giving them a chance to rectify. That's all. But I'm telling you this. I don't want to. You don't want to talk in circles. The whole point is, I'm willing to do something to have these retracted. Every brand that I've done this with, that have done it, they've been more than happy, because they're not just getting rid of the small problem. They're getting rid of an entire seller because, hey, they don't want to sell, and I'm not even buying that much for it to do anything anyway, either from your guys' stance or my stance. I'm not buying that much to hurt you guys in any way. And those ASINs are not hurting you at all, because they weren't getting any sales. From what I discovered after I got the complaints, I don't watch every ASIN to find out what's not getting sales, but there were no sales in the past year and a half on them, so I don't know how they were damaging. But anyway, and I can prove that to you.
It looks like I have two emails possibly. Is it REZcandles@gmail or the RDN Purchasing?
RDN Purchasing is who I have with you guys, and then Rez Candles is my Amazon email.
Let me reach out to Voorhees and find out what next steps are. I can definitely provide you with the list of all of the ASINs. But let me find out from them, because this is all new.
Oh yeah, and they're not to doing anything cooperative because they can't bill you for it. I'm just telling you ahead of time. That's what they're going to say. They're not going to say they can't bill you for it, but they're going to say no. We've known. They're already suing me. I mean, Thorne's already suing me, and they've already admitted they don't even have a bottle or a complaint. And Thorne already fixed it. They wanted me off of Amazon, and Thorne already got their whole thing locked down. No one can list Thorne on Amazon. But then they're still. But
we're going the same way that Thorne is.
Yes, but then they're still going through with a lawsuit when they fix the problem. This is how Voorhees is. They convince the people to keep going. Have a heart. That's all I'm saying. Have a heart.
Well,
how many other people that you filed complaints have reached out to talk to you?
Like I said, let me get with Voorhees.
Hesitation.
I know he knows that.
Exactly.
That reads the list and what they said the next step can be, as long as you're willing to remove those listings. So let me find out from them, because I'm not 100% sure and I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
No, sure. The boss doesn't want to. The boss doesn't want to say what the employee is going to do. That's no problem. I'll wait to hear from you in the email, and we'll go from there. Hey, do you guys have a location in Maryland? Do you guys have a location near Maryland?
No.
No.
No, we're just in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So that's our only location.
That's going to be a long flight. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.